Sunshine, a big crowd and a marvellous holiday atmosphere. We had it all today at Downpatrick. The target for Ireland was damage limitation against, of course, the world champions, the West Indies. Well, the West Indian team included Desmond Haynes, the captain, one of the world's top 10 batsmen, and also included classy stroke players like Brian Lara, Gus Logie and Carl Hooper. The pace would come from Patrick Patterson, Hamish Anthony, Ian Allen and Courtney Walsh. Ireland were led by Woodville's Stephen Wark in a team heavily weighted with batsmen Mark Cohen, Steve Smith, Alan Lewis and the power hitting of Jim Patterson. The spinners were Conor Hoey and Garfield Harrison, Alan Nelson and Nigel Thompson would open the bowling. Well, the West Indies, well aware of what happened the last time they appeared in Northern Ireland in 1969. They lost, won the toss and decided to bat. Well, the commentary team today, the summarisers, Ivan Anderson and Simon Corlett, both former internationals, and Peter Walker. And when we join the game in the 8th over, the score is 23 without loss.
Oh, what a tremendous effort. That's a lovely shot. Classical shot.
I said earlier that they seem to be bowling a bit short of a length and containing their batsmen. They've now decided to pitch it up a bit, and we've suffered 2 fours.
And already we've seen a change in the field. They've all found out we started with 3 slips in the gully. Now it's down to a slip in the gully. And that's in the air, and that must be out, is it? Oh, dear. Conor Hoey's dropped that. Well, that was going like a tracer bullet, and also not at the easiest height for catching. It was just above waist high.
It's also another of these grounds, Peter, where it can be difficult to pick the ball up. If you look across from where Conor's standing, the ground rises up and he's actually looking at that level at the crowd's feet, and an awful lot of colour. And to try and pick a red ball out of that can sometimes be difficult.
Thompson. Lovely shot. 2 and 4 in the over and a chance, so it's all action here at Downpatrick.
I don't know if Nigel's a gambler or not. He maybe thought he was going to hit another one into Conor's hands. Certainly tried pitching it up a bit more on that over and suffered for it. He's not really doing enough off the wicket to trouble the batsman.
Oh, that's a glorious shot again. Ball racing away, even though the outfield's fairly slow. It's all timing and wrist. That was a typical West Indian shot. Just roll the wrists on it, let the ball come onto the hip. 2 more to Simmons. That's a glorious shot, isn't it? Oh, effortless.
They make it look so easy.
Just roll the wrists on it, knocked it wide of the right hand of mid-on. Uses quite a light bat for a modern day opener, does Phil Simmons, about 2 pounds 7 ounces. Garfield Harrison, the fielder, at mid-on, and once again Simmons has nicked the bowling. And if I were Lambert, I'd be going up to talk to him about that. That's good running. Oh, he just flicked that away. One bounce, 4.
And there's 50.
And big smile from Phil Simmons as he reaches his 50. 67 balls, 67 minutes, 8 falls. Nice symmetrical statistics. And a lovely way to reach it. First appeal of the morning, more in hope than in expectation. Way down the leg side. Oh, brilliantly fielded.
Stephen Smith getting himself into the game.
Even appreciated by the batsman. Oh, brilliantly stopped by Paul Jackson. She made a lot of ground there.
Typical Jacko. He's very, very quick. Pick up anything like that.
There he goes down the leg side. Super stop. That's a good shot. Finds the gap between extra cover and mid-off.
It's probably one of the first convincing strokes he's played, isn't it, eh?
We'll be looking for 2. Simmons can make it. So a mid-wicket consultation between the two. It's fairly good-natured. They don't seem to be under too much pressure.
I think they must be enjoying themselves. A bit of sunshine. Nice.
It's
Genial
impossible
crowd.
not to at this place, I don't think. They've been made to feel very welcome, the West Indian party.
Conor Hoey, 5 overs, 1 maiden, no wickets for 18 runs. And Ivan, your impressions of Conor Hoey so far?
This is the first time I've really seen him bowling, Mark, since I saw him a few years ago bowling in the under-19 competition. He had a very impressive tour of Zimbabwe where he bowled, took about 15 wickets out there, I think, and he bowled most of his overs at less than 3 and over, which for a leg spinner is very inexpensive indeed. Quite impressed by him here this morning. He seems to be getting a wee bit more turn bowling round the wicket to the left-hander.
Lambert on 30 and moving swiftly to 34. Certainly getting warm here at Downpatrick. Clayton Lambert doing his best to accelerate the run rate. Still haven't seen a 6 though, and many of this big crowd have come to see that type of extravagant hitting. And a thick edge and a second or third slip, and that might have been out, but naturally at this stage a fairly defensive field from Stephen Wark, and 4 more. Alan Lewis finding the edge and Lambert finding the boundary.
Yes, Alan has always been a very, very enthusiastic cricketer. Batting, bowling, fielding, no matter what he's doing, he really puts a lot of effort into it. And as Simon said earlier on, when he's bowling, he gives the impression that he expects to take a wicket with every ball.
but not with that one. And 4 more to Lambert. Slightly overpitched on leg stump and flicked away with some ease. And a beautiful shot. Lots of batting to come. Gus Logie, Brian Lara, Carl Hooper. And that's Phil Simmons. Taking fresh guard. And with the 50 safely locked away, the crowd will be hoping that he'll be opening the shoulders to give them some entertainment in the sunshine. A little bit more air, and that's in the air, and it's right at the commentary box, and it's a catch by Nigel Thompson, taken right underneath us here. It almost came through the window, but Thompson stopped it, and Ireland managed the wicket, and Phil Simmons is out. Well, Simmons took fresh guard and did hit out. And, well, he took the hand off the bat. He didn't quite hit it. And it flew to Nigel Thompson. But a good innings from Phil Simmons. Caught Thompson, bowled away for 50. 8 fours in 90 minutes as he trudges slowly off. And out comes Brian Lara, this exciting left-hander from Trinidad, who is an exceptional stroke maker. And some people wonder why he hasn't yet managed to force his way into the test side. Oh, and Lara immediately hits 1 for 4. Well, deciding against playing himself in against the leg spinner, and immediately knocks one to the boundary.
Yes, opening the face there and hitting it just backward of, I think it was Stephen Smith's right hand. Immediately getting off the mark with a 4, perhaps slightly thick-edged.
It's the sort of cricket we've been told to expect from Lara. And that's short. And that is out. Well, that happens so often that the bad ball gets a wicket. Cohen took the catch of the boundary, and Lara lasts 3 balls. Disappointed Brian Lara. What a delighted Conor Hoey, taking his second wicket.
There you are, Mark. Rank long hop. Lara just in, hoping to dispatch it onto the road here for 6. Unfortunately, not quite getting hold of it, and very good catch there taken by Mark Cohen underneath this white sun hat.
And Alan Lewis is cracked away for 4 runs. And Logie's the new batsman in from the West Indies.
It was interesting, Mark, that over that Phil Simmons got out, where Stephen Wark dispatched Vincent to the deep extra cover boundary and had Nigel Thompson also here at long off deep on the boundary too. So we must have been expecting Simmons to give it a wee bit of a charge.
Just stopped short of the boundary. Came up in 26.1 overs in 96 minutes. Giving it a bit more air there as well, and completely over pitching, but a good stop by Alan Nelson, a half stop. And that's 50 for Clayton Lambert, who had a full and tidy last over. And that's 4 runs. Spraying down the leg side.
Very strong on the leg side. Gus Logie is not a bottom hand in this shot. Very fine sweeper too.
Must be quite difficult for a young spin bowler like Hoey to have the confidence to give the ball the air against batsmen of the calibre of the West Indians.
Yes, it's always intimidating to bowl against a touring side, and even more so against Gus Logie, who's been in tremendous form in this tour. This is going to be a real test of his line and length now.
Balmy, breezy summer's day in Northern Ireland. And that's a bad ball. And that's 4 runs. Wasn't that far away from Alan Nelson. Ireland have already claimed a couple of wickets through bad deliveries. Far too wide, far too short. Hammered away. So at lunch, the West Indies were 136 for 2, and they added just 3 runs in the first over after lunch, and then decided to treat the crowd to some Caribbean cricket. And that's a delightful shot. Saw it very early indeed, and cracked it away. And that's short, just out of Stephen Wark's reach. Mark Cohen, who's back in the field, he was injured before lunch, bruised hand. Short and wide and hit, didn't quite get the right hand over it quickly enough, and over the head of Stephen Wark. Oh, that could really have gone anywhere, and in the end it's gone right through Mark Cohen for 4 runs. Alan Lewis can't believe it, hands on hips.
Off the back of the bat, I think, even.
Well, it was a quite extraordinary shot.
Changes his mind. Yes, it's actually off the back of the bat. You can see where his head's looking down, fine leg, and it's actually gone down to third man's.
Garfield Harrison to continue his off spin. And that's nicely tucked away to fine leg. 2 more. Alan Nelson hasn't had a bowl since the opening 20 overs of the match. Another appeal from Harrison.
A bit optimistic, I think.
I think a little bit optimistic. Certainly wasn't as convincing a shout as the earlier one. Yeah.
Going over the top of the stumps.
Gus Logie to receive. And that is a tremendous strike. And it's 4 runs. 1 bounce into the crowd. Beautifully hit. Straight drive. And this time he has made contact. 4 more.
I think he rather advertised that Alan Lewis is bowled 1 short down the leg side, which Logie knew he should have hit.
Thickish edge from Gus Logie. He was trying to guide it down into that area. And 4 runs.
No, just how Nigel Thompson feels. The man who should have had the first wicket, and the catch was dropped, and now he's on the receiving end, something there. 4 runs in the book, but really it was a bit of an edge.
And that takes Gus Logie on to 50, 51, not out. That's the first 6 of the day.
Into the sponsor's tent, I think.
Just about in the perfect spot for him, and hit with perfect timing.
In the air, but safe. Races away to the extra cover boundary. That's one of the shortest parts of the ground, that, but still a good blow.
Yes, a Caribbean shot, I think you could call that, off the back foot. There are times when Clayton Lambert seems to make his intentions known before he even bowls bowled.
Wow, what a way to go into the 90s. That was a long hop outside the off stump. He still hit it on the front foot. He just wafted it away for 6 over square leg.
That's definitely a Caribbean shot.
126 these two have put on. 130 with that shot.
It's that sweep shot again that he's obviously decided is the answer to the ball that's reasonably well pitched up. He plays it so effortlessly, always off the middle of the bat.
Very, very fast hands, Gus Logie. Terrific bat speed. Well, he didn't middle that one, but it's gone the same destination. 4 runs. And there we are, 3 successive 4s. Logie absolutely rampant. Goes into the 80s.
I think we've definitely got a race on our hands, Peter.
Now, will Lara go? Oh, where's he hit that? He's flipped that away for 6. That's a huge 6. Bounces off the Gilbey sponsorship caravan. A majestic shot. Logie goes to 96. So, who's going to make it first? He thinks he top edged that a bit.
I don't think so, Peter. I think it was just, you say, very quick hand action, and he got it right in the middle, because before you knew what was happening, it was over the boundary and onto the top of the sponsor's caravan.
It's been in since the start, is Clayton Lambert. Pretty much second fiddle to both Phil Simmons, his opening partner, and now Gus Logie. 2 6s, 12 4s. He's only really played a few shots since lunch. Oh, there it is. No denying him. And nor should there be. He's played very, very well as the replacement opener in the West Indies side. Terrific 100. Generous applause from the Irish team as well as the crowd. A really splendid innings, and from Gus Logie. Over 5,000 people in this ground to see this spectacular innings by Lambert. Spectacular since lunch, in which he's really played outstandingly well. Simon.
Yes, and although Logie, I think, has scored 30 runs while he's scored the last 5 or 6, he's got there, and I think it might be fireworks time now.
And that'll probably, if Clayton Lambert will go, yes, he's going for the second, and that's it. That's Logie's 100. Splendid innings, full of wonderful shots, good running between the wickets, never looked in trouble. Just 81 balls it took him in 95 minutes. Well, hey, that's the highest today. It's almost in orbit. Into a garden, I think. Way to the left of the pavilion, behind those trees. Second 6. Big blow for a small man.
I think he had his mind made up, mind you. He gave himself plenty of room, moved away to the leg side, you can see, and then crashed it. Look at that stretch there. Full follow through. Lovely.
There's another one. That's another 6, is it? Yes, it is. What an amazing blow there was, straight over extra cover.
Gus Logie looked in superb form from the minute he's come to the wicket here.
That's the highest today. Now, Paul Jackson's under that. He ought to pouch that as a wicket-keeper, and he has. And a wicket for Alan Lewis. And that's the end of Clayton Lambert, but what entertainment he's given. Tremendous innings. Started slowly, built from a solid start. And then in the end, was playing virtually a shot of ball. Caught Jackson bowled Lewis 105. He's in for just 12 minutes more than 3 hours. 2 sixes, 13 fours and 162 balls. And the crowd on their feet as he returns to the pavilion. Now we got Cole Hooper in. Now I'm surprised in a way that Des Haynes hasn't declared, because they've got a big enough score to defend.
I think, Peter, Desmond Haynes is enjoying probably the hospitality from the club members at the pavilion and the sunshine here as well. I remember Wales' first tour here when we played them in Dublin. He spent a lot of time with the kids, festooned with lollipops which they'd given him.
Well, he's due in next, but I suspect if another wicket falls, he may well declare. Now that was a good shot, I think. He was either doing one of two things. He was either just trying to chip a gentle return catch to the bowler, or he actually placed it there. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Looked to me as though he was trying to get out there, Peter, and just didn't quite hit it in the right place. It just either just too hard or not quite hard enough. But it looked to me as though he'd decided it was time he got out and was trying to hit a catch to the fielders.
Well, that's in the air, but he actually played that intentionally there.
Yes, he just opened the blade there as he made contact with the ball and put it wide of extra cover.
He likes that. There's some waving going on from the dressing room, and I think Gus Logie's seen it. Nobody else has at the moment, but off he goes. There's been a declaration.
Well, I think maybe Gus has declared, and Desmond Haynes is going to come in for a few overs. Certainly Carl Hooper's not making his way to the pavilion.
Oh, that's right. Well, you don't often see this. Shake of the hand from Des. Isn't this a good tribute to the Irish crowd by Desmond Haynes, as Gus Logie returns to a very, very warm welcome. Des knows that people have come to see him bat, and rather than call them off with a big total, he's come out to bat for maybe 20 minutes or so.
Yes, it's nice to see him coming out just to hopefully let the crowd see at first hand a bit of what they've seen on television. He's been a tremendous player for the West Indies, and I know, having played against him in Dublin some years ago, he's a great character as well. Very, very happy, easy-go-lucky person. And hopefully we'll see 15, 20 minutes of him here.
He really is an object lesson. Friendly one off the mark from Alan Lewis.
Yeah, it's a bit of good psychology there from Alan Bowen, the skipper of the opposition, wanting to get him off the mark and hope that whenever he comes into bat, the compliment will be returned.
Probably going to bounce it. So just 13 short of 300 and 3 overs short of 60. What? That's 6? And how it's 6? Way into the pine trees, over point. Lovely stroke. Began the bowling from that end with a new ball. Well, there's no need to even leave the crease for that. That's 6. Leaves falling off the trees. People ducking, branches falling. There's just signalling that nobody else need bother to pad up.
A tremendous shot again here from Karl Huber.
Way, and that's going to be 6 into the champagne tent again. Almost right through the open door. And that's it. Desmond Haynes has had enough, served the Irish bowlers. And a splendid day's entertainment ends temporarily until Ireland bat with a really wonderful performance by Desmond Haynes and Karl Hooper, and preceded by Clayton Lambert and Gus Logie.
Well, 321, a very tough target indeed for Ireland. But the whole atmosphere of the day was reflected at the beginning of the Ireland innings.
So, that's pretty academic, 322 to win in 60 overs. But you never know. I have to say that, I suppose, but you never know. So there we are. I've never seen a field like that. It used to be called a Carmody field after the Australian captain pre-war. 6 slips in the gully, a cover and a fine leg. And the first ball by Patrick Patterson. He'll be using his match to just try out that damaged calf. And it's a very gentle run in. So gently stopped. Tea is scheduled for 4:10. So that means we've got 50 minutes or just under 50 minutes play. And quite a few people on the side screen. Wide, they're off the mark. There'll be some hilarity for an over or two, I suspect, before the West Indies get down to work. Oh dear. That would have been a disastrous start for Ireland.
Yes, Stephen Warwick just a little bit keen to get away and get off the mark then. Mark Coing having nothing of it.
Irish score doubles to 2. That's out, surely. Oh, everybody stepped aside. Well, as slip catches go, they don't come much easier unless they hit you in the stomach.
Slower ball and cracked for 4. Stephen Ward picked it up very quickly, and it turned out to be a half volley.
Yes, nice gentle wide half volley there from Patrick Patterson, and Stephen Warwick very gratefully putting it away behind square for 4.
Well, the shorter ball, and Stephen Ward a little bit fortunate to get away with that. Didn't really get on top of it, but he gets 4 runs. Short and wide, unfortunate enough. Walsh to Cohen. Oh, that was a better ball.
Yes, we saw him bowl that sort of thing in the test matches, and it's caught out better batsmen than Cohen. Cut
Just
right back.
Yes, it certainly did. Well, Mark Cohen took a very firm decision there and played a very positive shot. And another one. That could be out though. And that's the end of Mark Cohen. One big hit too many.
With the right intention.
That's a nice shot. Forced it away. 4 runs to Smith, who has done what a good batsman should do. He's waited for the bad ball. On each occasion he's hit 4 runs.
Yeah, short outside off stump, played down, through. Very good.
And that's what happened before tea. Stephen Wark clipped one through the slip area. And that was in the air as well, but he got more bat on it that time. And 4 more.
Yeah, I think he deliberately played that in the air. Mark, plenty of room out there. Just helped the ball on its way.
Lovely shot. And he gave that everything. Glorious shot. Square on the offside.
Oops. That's 4 runs. I don't think he quite intended it to go there. That wasn't a bad bouncer, that. Very close to the body.
Yes.
Well, it had to happen, I suppose, sometime. He's beaten him several times in the air, and that's the end of Stephen Wark. And a good piece of bowling that by Carl Hooper, and the end of a resolute innings by the captain.
Yes, a little bit extra there from Carl Hooper, and Stephen Wark just trying to hit it perhaps a wee bit wide of long on instead of maybe a wee bit straighter, but the end of a good knock by the captain, certainly sending a good captain's innings there, Stephen Wark. Fine knock, played some fine shots.
90 balls, 105 minutes and 8 fours. And that partnership, incidentally, between Smith and Wark was worth 55 runs in 56 minutes. 88 for 2 now, 32 overs gone. And it's Hamish Anthony again. Whoops. Stephen Smith. Shot of catch it, but it was nowhere near anyone. The first time he hasn't got his foot to the pitch of the ball.
Stephen Smith not quite across there, but he played right through it and he gave it everything, and you're going to flash hard. Slightly thick edge, but it went like a shell. Nobody there anywhere near that. 4 runs all the way.
He's been in a long time, just a minute over an hour for his 18. Interesting, he's hit 16 of those in 4 shots. And that's it. That's the first decision we've had of the afternoon. A long, long deliberation from umpire Harry Henderson, but that's it. It's the end of Steve Smith. Let's have another look at that. Well, what do you think about that, Evan? It's very, very close to it. The men behind the wicket certainly thought so.
A little bit of extra bounce there and extra pace from Hamish Anthony, and Stephen Smith probably better just to leave that alone. Just getting a little bit frustrated, and maybe a little bit, perhaps the previous ball where he'd crashed the floor, given that little bit of extra confidence. But he's been there, as you said, a long time, and maybe just getting a little bit over anxious, wanting to move his score on. And hard to know whether he got a touch there or not. Certainly was fairly close to it, and the umpire thought so.
We'll take another look at that, I think, Ivan, just to see if we can check that out. No sign of a deflection, but certainly you can see first slip believes he edged it, and the wicketkeeper jumps in and joins in the appeal immediately afterwards. But it's out. Hooper again. Whoops. That was right through the captain's legs before.
Alan Lewis off the mark there with a nice sweep. Kept it down well.
I hope for everyone's sake, particularly Jim and his local crowd, that he stays in for a bit. Well taken, because he's in prime form this season. High score of 84 against Scotland. And there we go. If you give it a bit of air, he'll accept the challenge, and that's a lovely off drive.
That one given a little bit of air by Carl Hooper, and Jimmy Patterson foot right and head right over there, and full swing of the bat and letting it go. Beautiful off drive.
It's a lovely shot. That's 6. That's a glorious shot by Alan Lewis.